What's happening, people?
Oh, a lot of yawning. You alright?
What's happening, people? Welcome to another episode of the Everything 9000 podcast. Yes, sir, we're in February. We got a new roundup for you, a bunch of topics. We're going to be discussing everything that's been 9000 recently. Yeah, let's get into it, man. First thing I saw online, I thought this was hilarious, but a man spent £19,000 to become a wolf.
£19,000?
Because he just wanted to be free of human relationships. Don't you just feel that sometimes you just can't be arsed with life? You know, it's a bit shit. And you just don't want the headaches. You don't want another letter coming through with some bullshit you don't want to deal with.
He turned himself into a wolf?
Yeah, that's right. He spent £19,000 for a highly realistic, bespoke wolf suit. And he says when he wears it, he no longer feels human.
Oh, wait, so it's a suit that he's had made. It's not something like he's done surgically.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know how you would do it surgically. But it he said, his name is Toru Ueda. He's an engineer from Tokyo, likes to relax. It took 4 people 7 weeks to create. Mm-hmm. And it gives him a chance to escape his normal human life and embrace feeling like a wolf. He told The Times, when I wear my costume, I feel like I'm no longer human. I'm free of human relationships, all kind of troubles related to work and other things. I can forget about them.
Where does he go when he puts the suit on?
In the park like this.
Oh shit, what the hell?
Yeah.
That's really realistic.
That is really realistic.
And does he walk on all fours, or does he
wants to be a wolf.
No, but how does he walk in that suit though?
On 4s, on 2s, whatever.
No, you can't see a wolf walking like a,
Well, you just did in the picture.
And then but then that's I would probably just laugh at that. But if I saw that on all fours,
I saw that on all 4s, I'd think it was a real wolf.
But that it'd be too big. The human would be too big, I suppose. I don't know.
Right. Okay. Is that all you have to say on that? Yeah.
It's just weird. £19,000 is a lot of money to spend on a costume, obviously. And I don't
think it's about the money, or I think it's the choice of doing it. He wants to escape human relations. Would you ever do it?
No, I would just read a book if I want some sort of escapism. I would go.
All right. Well, that's topic 1 done, yeah? Topic number 2. Kylie Jenner at Paris Fashion Week, she wore a lion's head.
Oh, yeah. They all
stuck to her, right? Well, yeah, Naomi Campbell, was it? I think she wore another animal on her body as well.
What's her name? Ariana Shaik or something like that.
Irina Shayk,
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know if she did. But anyway.
She wore like a little line. Well, not a little, a huge line as well.
All right, okay. Well, what did you make of that? It stirred some controversy.
I think it's all bullshit. I think it's so much bullshit. Like, who... like Fashion Week, don't you think it's just getting out of hand? Like, it's nothing to do with fashion. It's just like, who can come up with the most ludicrous thing? Doja Cat, did you see her, costume?
She was all in red.
No, she was like crystals and all that stuff.
Yeah, all in red. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see that. Like, how is that fashion?
But no, I mean, what I was trying to get to with the lion's head, there's 2 sides to this, right? On the one hand, there's the actual artist that created the lion's head, created a really realistic looking lion's head. There's an art in that. Right. And, there's a skill and craft that goes into that.
Right.
And, if someone that spends their lives creating these sort of, lion's heads, etc., and, someone as big as Kylie Jenner then endorses it, you would feel like that's an accomplishment. But then on the other hand, there's people that were criticizing it and saying, it's like trophy gathering. It's like that trophy mentality of like, look at me, I'm a hunter. Look at this prize I've got. I'm wearing it on me. Some people just thought it was a bit inhumane.
Yeah, of course it is. But one thing I just...
But it's not a real lion's head.
It's not real, but then like... It's just so stupid. I think like, why would you wear like a huge lion's head on your like top? I just don't get that. And then you try and pass it off as fashion, like something new, something creative. It's just bullshit, man.
Obviously, they're trying to grab headlines, grab some attention.
But they might as well
sparking some controversy.
Why don't they just like cover themselves in feces and walk onto the stage? I'll grab them headlines.
That's a good idea.
You know what I mean?
That's a good idea. The Manchester City, with obviously they're facing a lot of problems.
Yeah.
I mean, the biggest red flag for financial fair play.
Oh, sorry, the financial fair play.
Financial fair play. The biggest thing is that they were saying, Man City, you can't even sell out your stadiums. How are you making more revenue than the likes of Real Madrid, etc.? You're not. This bullshit.
So what they were doing is basically getting inflated sponsorship deals from like UAE-based companies.
I did read some other arguments. It's that there's a white paper coming out. That's sort of reviewing financial fair play. Financial fair play has been a bit of a joke over the last few years, and this paper's coming out, and this is seen as a sort of just a timely sort of action taken against Manchester City just to show that financial fair play isn't a joke. So there's some political manoeuvring going on.
There could be political manoeuvring, but when you look at it, okay, what is a financial fair play? What was it brought in to do? It was brought in to do like control and curb the spending of clubs. What Man City has been doing, so basically, you know, when they had Mancini as their manager, they were actually paying him whatever they were paying him in the books, but then they were actually also alleged, this is what the Premier League is saying, they're alleged to have paid him secretly as well.
Right.
So they were paying him much more than they were actually showing as outgoings, and not just Mancini, but it was other players as well, right? So imagine all Man City attracting these huge stars. It's possible now that the Premier League is saying that they were paying them through like secret channels, on top of what they were declaring and all that stuff, right? And not only that, but then because they're a state-owned company, they've literally just come in and they've just inflated all of the sponsorship deals,
right,
just to meet these rules and stuff. So it's impossible because, like, you know, they're spending 60-70 million pounds on a player, like, for a joke. And not only that, but then on top of that, they're paying those players huge wages as well, right? So all of that money, as you said, like, that stadium doesn't get full. So how are they meeting all these requirements? There's no way Man City makes more money than a club like Real Madrid,
exactly,
Barcelona, Manchester United. There's absolutely no way that club makes more money.
There is no way. Well, I know my mate went to Manchester recently. He said he went into Manchester. He doesn't often go there, but even in the city centre, he was like, there's so many tourists around. Every single one is wearing a Man United top.
Yeah, 100%.
He didn't see anyone in a City top.
Yeah.
Like, how many City fans do you know?
None.
I know none. Like, where are they?
Exactly, Man City, but their core base is just in and around Manchester, right?
Yeah.
And now they've gone a bit global. They haven't gone global, but now that they've started winning titles and stuff.
Well, yeah, winning 5 Premier Leagues does get you recognised.
Yeah.
Having Pep Guardiola gets you recognised.
So they're starting to build a following now, but there's absolutely no way you're telling me that as Manchester City, you're making more money than Manchester United, than Real Madrid.
Yeah. Do you think there'll be any consequences? Do you think, one, they'll be stripped of any titles?
I don't know if they'll be stripped of titles, but
if they do, Steven Gerrard wins a title.
No, I don't think they'll be stripped of any titles. I think.
Would you want to see that?
To be honest, I don't know if I will.
I don't think Gerrard would want it.
Yeah, I don't think as
for him it'd be like, well, you know,
I would rather that they actually get relegated.
Right.
Because that's what they deserve.
Yeah.
Right. They would deserve if any of these allegations actually stand up.
Yeah.
They can be. You know what would be the worst thing?
A fine.
If they pay a couple of £100 million, to them it would be nothing. Right. It'll be just like a little slap in the wrist.
That's a daily revenue out of their oil tanks. Yeah,
exactly. So you know what they need? They need relegation. Then that'll be like a real slap in the face. Look, you can't go on.
There should be some consequences for sure.
And it has to be of substance. It can't, as I said, a financial fine of even like 100 million, 200 million pounds, even 300 million pounds. It will be nothing to them. They'll just pay it. And the worst thing is, in the past, when teams have breached the financial fair play of it by endangering themselves, they've just been fined. And you just pay more money to get out of the hole that you've already dug yourself in.
Yeah. I mean, shout out Andy and shout out Jazz, who were, replying to our stories, and all of the other guys as well that replied to our stories and giving us suggestions to talk about on the pod. We've talked about Man City. There was a little bit about Mason Greenwood. Don't know if we want to talk about him. Yeah,
I mean, Mason Greenwood was like, the charges have been dropped, but that doesn't mean he's not guilty.
I can't believe the charges were dropped, man.
I know, because the evidence was so clear.
Overbearing, man.
It was overbearing, so I don't think he still has a future.
It's just another example of how footballers get away with so much, man.
Oh, they 100% do. And I don't know if you followed the trial of Benjamin Mendy as well.
He's been cleared of a lot, hasn't he?
A lot, but there was one incident. One of the charges they couldn't agree. The jury couldn't agree on, so now he's going to go back to real trial. I think at the end of this year.
Right.
But it's just like the attitude that footballers seem to have. Like with Mason Greenwood, I think the reason the charge has been dropped is because they've been withdrawn by the complainant. I think, right? So because that girl is so young, and because she's probably
well, apparently they follow each other back on Instagram now. There's reports that she's moved back in with him.
Right.
I don't know if that's to keep up appearances, to help with this trial, with what, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, you can't blame the girl. She's young, I think. Naive. Mason Greenwood does seem to have a lot of power because he's still, all this time that he was suspended, he was still getting paid by Manchester United. And whatever it is a huge amount of money. So with money comes power and that sort of pull.
A shame. It's a bit
It
of a
is
shame.
a shame because I think if it had gone trial, like, there's no way he wouldn't have been convicted because that evidence that was released, that was leaked on social media, it was so overwhelmingly clear that, you know, the kind of attitude that he had towards that girl.
Yeah.
But in terms of his career, what do you think of his career? Where do you think how far that will go now?
He'll probably have to play in another league.
Yeah,
Probably have to play in another league, just move away. I don't think any United fans want him back.
I think that would be probably the case.
No, United. It doesn't matter how good he was, what it was. That's all irrelevant now.
Yeah.
Once those videos came out, you're done, mate.
Because, you know, the charges can be dropped. If those videos were never out, and then it was just put in the news that the charges have been dropped, then nobody would have known. But they actually
nobody would have cared. But yeah,
they've
the evidence has
actually
been out
heard
there.
things.
Yeah.
So that's a whole different mental, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, okay, this one now. This one, we've been talking about so much off air. So we need to discuss this on air, right? What? So Mr. Beast created a YouTube video where he helped 1,000 people gain or recover their eyesight to up to 100% basically, right?
Yeah.
And he created a whole video on this, and it was one of many crazy, outrageous videos that he makes. It got, after a couple of days, it was on 70 million views. And, you know, I sent it to you guys. I was like, yo, it's quite sick. What do you think? You were of a completely different view because you don't believe that he was being totally charitable. He was seeking views, likes. I've got a totally different view on that. But go on, give us your views. Why do you not agree with what he did?
Don't you think this, for example, right? It's a good thing that he paid for £1,000 people, like, you know, for
1,000 people.
1,000 people's eyesight to get better and all that. I get that point, okay, yeah. But there is some sort of like, what is the reason? What is the underlying reason? For me, the underlying reason, it's amazing he's done charity work, okay, yeah. But the underlying reason is the views that he wants on YouTube. You cannot deny that. You possibly cannot deny that.
But do you not feel that he's raised awareness?
He's raised awareness
of the process, how easy it is to fix someone's eyesight, how cheap it is.
Yeah,
it's affordable, and like the difference that it makes. It's like it's also wholesome content.
You know, this whole wholesome content that you say, okay, yeah, and I'm glad that you use that term.
Okay, yeah.
It's very problematic.
I want you to be glad. That's fine. No, go on.
It's very problematic on social media in every sense. Like, in the sense that sometimes a lot of these wholesome content creators do, like, you know, these social experiments and so on. They pick on an unassuming person, right? And
by the way, these people want to be involved in the video.
No, okay, listen.
So these aren't unassuming people.
You're talking about wholesome content.
You're talking about general, right? I'm talking about the Mr. Beast video. You had a problem with this video. Let's stick to this. The
problem, no, I get your point about raising awareness, all that stuff, okay? And there was one doctor who came out, like, I think it was an eye surgeon or something, who came out and said, look, yeah, it's good that he's raised awareness, but it just doesn't sit well with me because whilst he's raising awareness, he's also making a shit ton of money.
But he makes money regardless.
He doesn't.
So he's probably done 100 videos in the last, I don't know, 3 months. And he makes enough money anyway. And you know what? If you actually follow Mr. Beast, I think we need to bear in mind that people like you that criticize, you don't actually follow his journey. But people that actually watch him can sort of gauge, you know, he's an actually reasonable human being. He does want to give back to society. And the thing is, right, we're going down the creator route. There does come a point where you do want to create good. And it's like, so what? You can't make a video now that has social good without someone sitting at home putting a tweet out, oh, what the fuck is this? Oh, doing it for likes, doing it for views.
Look, I get your point. I get every single point of view made, okay, yeah, I really do. But just with me, I probably don't know how to put it into words, but it just doesn't sit entirely right.
I don't think you explained yourself. So now's your time to explain yourself.
No,
why does it not sit right?
I don't know why.
At the end of the day, he has helped 1,000 people see.
Yeah.
What is wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with it.
So then why do you have a problem with it?
But then why are you then like putting it on your recording? It's like, almost look at me, I'm the great savior. It's like, you know what it is? It's like the savior complex.
Right. I don't think he's doing it for that though, if you actually know him.
What do you know? You claim to know Mr. Beast.
I actually know him. We'll never know what's in his head.
Exactly.
But I'll give you a situation. What if somebody does 100 good things off air, doesn't record them, doesn't make any money off it, no views, is genuinely charitable, but then comes across one thing where if he does make a video, right, and if it does raise awareness, and then therefore inspires other people to do good, and okay, does get views, but let's not demonize views.
No, I'm not demonizing
What's
views.
wrong with that?
It's just, Listen, you're saying, oh, if you follow me, you're claiming to know Mr. Beast when you actually don't know Mr. Beast.
I just said I don't know.
Exactly, but then you were.
But I just gave you a scenario.
No, but then you're saying,
why don't you address the scenario?
But then this is a hypothetical situation. So are you saying Mr. Beast does?
I'm just giving you a hypothetical scenario. Right? Answer that hypothetical scenario. What about the person that does a lot of good stuff?
So are you saying? But you're
not listening.
No, but I could say like, oh, what about this hypothetical scenario where somebody basically does nothing? But then...
I read the BBC article. Right, you're not going to answer the question. I think you've lost that one, but that's fine. But I read the BBC article. Right, the BBC did an article on this. Oh, this Mr. Beast videos caused outrage, and when it was actually sourcing who had the outrage, it was a couple of tweets. Right, it was just everyone on Twitter, and Mr. Beast actually came out and went on Twitter and be like, "You can do anything, and Twitter will never be happy." The truth is, right, he's done some good. A couple of people that are sitting at home have done fuck all themselves, probably will do fuck all ever, right? Sitting like, oh, he's just done it for views. So shallow, so easy, right? Whacked it out there. He's getting criticism for doing something good. And you know what? It's a shame, in my opinion, that you hold the same view as those keyboard warriors. That's what you are. You're a keyboard warrior.
I'm not, let's see, come on, bro. I'm telling you,
you would be the guy that would tweet him out.
You are likening like Mr. Beast and all that. If you look at it, like Mr. Beast, what does he do? Everything he's done in his whole life, okay, if you think about it through YouTube, okay, is for attention. Can you agree with that or not?
When you say attention, what do you mean?
Like for views. So his videos are more outrageous, the most out there.
Yeah.
Because he wants to get the most attention and he wants to get the most views.
He has said several times on his own channel, he just wants to make the best video content he can. Right. That's his purpose in life. That's all he wants to do. He just wants to entertain.
Yeah, but H&M are saying like, they want to build a greener future and like they want to make the most sustainable.
I think there's a difference between a big corporate body and one person.
No, how do you not? There isn't though. That's what you're failing to see, bro. When somebody gets as big as that, okay, yeah.
So what if tomorrow I make a charitable video,
right?
A video with a charitable aim, which I'm putting out there. I'm gonna,
right?
And I would hope to think that you know me well enough.
No, right? I know you well enough.
Okay, no. And someone out there then says, "Oh, Cloud 9000, just doing it for clout, just doing it for the views. They don't care, right?" Then how would you feel about that? Would you agree with them?
I would look at your real intentions, right?
Yeah.
But then I would still be a little bit troubled by the fact that you're actually recording it and then putting it out there, and then listen, as a creator, okay, as a content creator, whether in your YouTube or TikTok or whatever it is, every single thing that you do, whether you admit this or not, every single thing that you would post, you post with the intention of getting the most views that you possibly can.
I do want Cloud 9000 to grow. We would like the views, but why are we demonizing views?
I'm not demonizing views, but what I'm trying to say, then
what if those views raise awareness and inspire other people to do good?
So if you were going to do that now, you would be doing it with the hope.
Okay, I'll tell you what. What if for instance, we know that homelessness in Birmingham is a big problem. Right? You know I love Birmingham.
Yeah.
What if I go to Birmingham, help someone, and what if I give them bananas, food, clothing, or pillow, duvet? I do that. That's fine. That's great. Helps the person, that's wonderful. What if I do that, make a video, it gets 1 million views, people are like, shit, there's actually a lot of homelessness in Birmingham, we put a bit of an educational piece in there, and then a lot of people see, out of those 1 million views, 30 people act on it and also want to help homelessness or reduce homelessness in Birmingham. So is that not where the benefit of this is? Like, why do we not use the internet in a positive way? We are in an age now where we can send out stuff and someone sitting in Newcastle can watch it. We didn't have this 30 years ago. This is where we should be using the internet for good.
Right.
Why do we not see that?
Because there is also this element, it's quite morbid, man. I think using charity for personal gain whilst also making a charitable contribution.
Is it for personal gain though?
It is.
What if your true intention is to solve that problem? And I don't want to be, I'm never going to say I'm a saint. I'm not a saint.
No, I know. But
that doesn't mean, but people just want to do good.
You're making a charitable...
But people can't do good without hearing comments. I don't get it.
It's not that, man. I'm telling you, what I just did, what doesn't sit right with me is showing somebody, you're showing yourself...
Personally, yeah. I don't care if it sits well with people or not. Because as long as I know what's in my heart, I know what's in my head, that's fine.
First of all,
right?
Okay, look...
But
and here I'll tell you one thing.
Mr. Beast is looking at these Twitter comments and he's
what
like,
did you think of Mr.
I just
Beast?
can't win. Doesn't matter what you do, I can't win.
And
it puts him off from doing further good For me, that's a shame.
Okay, what do you think of Mr. Beast's thumbnails to that video?
I can't remember it.
Go on, load it up.
I'm not going to load it up.
No,
what is it? Him like a face like, oh my god, or wow?
No. Literally, I beg you, please, just load it up and put it on the video as well, right? Yeah.
Okay, I'll put it on the video. Yeah. What's your point?
Go to that video. Look at the thumbnail for that video. Let's
look at the thumbnail. Yeah, I can see it. It's like a crying. It's like a fake animated one.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Is that not clickbait then? It is clickbait.
It's okay. By the way, it's on 105 million views, which is amazing.
Right.
But yeah,
whatever.
Well, what's wrong with having a clickbait thumbnail? Would you not want that video to do the best? Well, okay. What do you want the thumbnail to do?
Like this is clear. Look, I don't know, man. Like, look at this. It's fucking ridiculous, bro.
No.
It is ridiculous.
Answer the question. Yeah. What do you want in the thumbnail?
I don't know, but not something like him. Like, hey, look at me helping this kid, and this kid's almost got like this eyesight. Whoa. I don't know how to describe it, but it's there's something morbid about it, man. I'm telling you.
You know what? You know what? I've heard enough of your bullshit. You lot let us know in the comments, yeah, what's up there. That's fine. I quickly want to talk about, the premiere. Premiere went well. Shout out everyone that came down, man. You came. How did you find it?
I was genuinely very surprised.
Because you've not been involved with any of the process beforehand. This is like one of the...
I'd seen you do a few interviews here and there, but like I wasn't actually...
involved in this one. Yeah. And then you saw, obviously we did it at Every Man in Mailbox.
Mm-hmm.
My thinking behind Every Man in Mailbox was, okay, Cloud 9000, what do we believe in? We believe in, that best of the best.
Mm-hmm.
What's the best cinema in Birmingham? Every Man.
I was
in contact with Odeon and Cineworld too. But for me, I felt like, okay, it might cost me a bit extra, but I'd rather do it at Every Man.
Really?
Yeah. And then I charged tickets for 35. And a lot of people might not know is that I actually made a loss.
Yeah.
I actually made a loss on this, probably six to £800.
Wow.
And that was even charging £35 for a ticket.
Yeah.
So we could have sold about 12 more tickets.
Right.
But even then, it probably would have just about like recouped costs, etc. But yeah, man. I mean,
but it was a good experience.
For me, it was about getting the event done.
Mm.
It was about getting the event done. People saw in person, what we did, what we created. I think it was, it felt good. So I'm going to say it feels like a success.
It was definitely a success. It shouldn't feel like a success. It was because it was definitely one.
Yeah.
The documentary itself, I think we should talk about it separately because that was pretty amazing, the documentary itself. But we'll talk about the night for now. Everybody was dressed up. It was actually a nice night out.
The reason for having everyone dressed up, by the way, is, back in the day, everyone went to the cinema in like suits, top hats. Yeah, man, that's how people went to the cinema back in the day. Now people go in their hoodies, joggers. Yeah. Man, you need to have some class, man. You need to be looking 9,000 when you go.
No, I liked the night. It was nice. Everybody dressed up.
Yeah.
The drinks were out. I like the popcorn that they put out, and then the sweets and stuff that put out as well. That was a nice touch.
Yeah.
I saw a few people walk in with the huge bags of popcorn, and then realize there's actually popcorn on the chairs already.
Yeah. No, it was good, man. It was good. So
it was enjoyable. I like the way you split the two documentaries up as well. Like gave everybody a little break, kind of time to think.
Intermission. Yeah. Well, we'll be having a behind the scenes video coming out.
Yeah.
Because we captured some on the day. So stay tuned for that if you couldn't make it. But yeah, man, we'll look to do more stuff, I think, in person.
100%.
Over the next year, anyway. Yeah, man. A couple more quick things, to be fair. Energy giants, Shell and BP, obviously UK-based, they have posted profits which have doubled to 28 billion combined.
Yeah.
And this is whilst we have a cost of living crisis.
It's fucking daylight robbery is what it is.
So, all these petrol prices have been going up for how long?
Yeah.
And these are just putting them in their pockets, man.
Exactly. And you would have, all this time that the petrol, the fuel price that had gone up, this whole time the wholesale price of that diesel and like all that fuel was actually never that high.
You know what though? Shout out Dudley Road petrol station, man.
Yeah.
It moves.
Oh, 100%.
Everyone else has been at like £1.78, £1.80.
He's always been 10 or 15 pence, if not more, below whatever.
£1.56 recently.
Yeah.
Man, shout out that Dudley Road petrol station, man. Man, you lot are, but you know what? They're causing queues there.
They are causing queues, but then you know what? Like honestly, it's a slightly out of the way for me. If it wasn't out of the way, I would definitely just go there and fill up myself.
Yeah.
Businesses have literally gone out. Businesses have gone out because they couldn't afford to pay the electricity bill or they couldn't afford to pay the gas and all that stuff. And where was that money going? It was going to the fucking pockets of the shareholders
Profits.
and all that.
Yeah, it's just profits.
And I think that is one of the most shameful things that's happened in the last 2 or 3 years, and I hold the Tory party responsible for it, man.
Really?
They've literally let these big companies go to town on all of us. There are care homes, there's old people homes that couldn't afford to fucking heat the home up. All this, what was the reason we've been told, or why the fuel price has gone up? Because of the war in Ukraine. Well, where is that fucking thing gone out? They've made the biggest profits that they've ever made since the war in Ukraine.
People are struggling to heat their homes, and these lot are like making dirty money. But
They should be fucking burnt to the ground.
Yeah, I mean, I just want a quick thing on. I don't know if you caught any of the Super Bowl last night.
No, don't watch it.
But like, bigger than the actual Super Bowl itself was who was doing the performing.
Yeah.
Rihanna.
Rihanna,
I don't know. Well, you came out on the last episode and you said Shakira is like one of the sexiest women alive. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but so is Rihanna though. Right?
For me, it is
one of them.
For me, Rihanna's like top tier.
You're obviously
Rihanna's top tier.
Yeah.
But you know what? She announced her second pregnancy yesterday.
Is that her second? I was thinking, didn't she have a baby already?
She had a baby really recently. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, man. I think with the second baby now, that probably that shut the door for me.
Right.
It's done now. Like with one baby, I could take the one baby. It's alright, I'll look after it. But with two now, it's like, will she even want more kids? But yeah, man, so I'm a bit sad about that.
You actually sound genuinely hurt by the fact that she's
Rihanna is like my day one, yeah, man.
But I thought
obviously I don't obviously ASAP, do your thing. ASAP working. But yeah, that's calm. I don't mean bad on them. Like, have a great life, that's fine. But the door was like slightly ajar.
Right.
I feel like it's closed now.
I think it was closed before, bro.
Do you think?
Yeah.
I think there's a chance.
I don't think there was ever a chance. Listen, look, actually being with Rihanna and having a family with her was like obviously completely shocked. But then even the fact that you would even get to see Rihanna, not even just meet her, but even get to see her in real life, there's absolutely no possibility of that.
That's gonna happen one day.
It won't.
It will.
You send me a photo of Rihanna in front of you, okay?
I will. I'm manifesting it. Right? I'll put it out into the universe. It's gonna happen.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We will. Yeah, man. I think you wanted to talk about ChatGPT.
Let's do it another day because I need to look more into it.
All right, cool, man.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for tuning in. That was just a quick roundup of a few of the things that we thought were 9,000. Stay tuned for the next episode.